Hey everybody, this is the Sliders Review, and I'm here today to talk to you about could Joel from Scream 2 actually be the father of Mindy and Chad? This has been a weird fan theory for a couple of years, and I remember I chimed in on it and I said, like, just because, Joel was like the only black person at that time to survive the Scream movies doesn't mean he is like, the father of Chad and Mindy because they are half black. And so that always irritates me when people do that crap. However, as time has now passed and now Scream 7 has come out and Chad and Mindy are part of Gail's news crew operating the camera and, the mic and this and that, I'm just kind of like, wait, hold up. As I've been going back and forth with the last three Scream movies written by Guy Busick and James Vanderbilt, especially that of Guy Busick, I'm just kind of like, wait, he could actually be. And I say that because here's the thing about Guy Busick. He loves nostalgia when it comes to the Scream movies, and he loves homages to the point that where in Scream 5, when Sydney's husband was named Mark, Nev Campbell didn't really connect the dots at first and realize that it's Mark Kincaid from Scream 3 because that was like over 20 years ago and stuff. And so it was later confirmed it was Mark Kincaid originally until Patrick Dempsey could not make it for Scream 7. So they completely created a brand new Mark who just happens to be a cop, played by Joel McHale. And, but the fact is they did that because Sydney had kind of like he had a slight interest in Sydney and she kind of had one with him towards the end of Scream 3. And they named Wes in Scream 5 after Wes Craven. And there's other little things. There are tons of Easter eggs in like Scream 5, 6, and 7, which were all written by him. He loves putting in Easter eggs and stuff. And so this could very well be like fact, because this has been a fan theory for many, 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 many years. Just like, there were fan theories about Stu being alive and Kirby being alive. And, Kevin Williamson left the door open for both those characters to return because Stu was supposed to return in Scream 3. And I think he left the door open for Kirby because she was such a fan favorite, to where fans kept campaigning for it, and look what happened in Scream 6. And, it's just too much of a coincidence. Joel was part of Gail's camera crew, or he was her cameraman. Now the twins all of a sudden are into journalism. Since when? They've never talked about that in the other two Scream movies. So I think this is a nod to that of Joel. Now Joel does not have a last name. And fans decided to give Joel the last name of the actor. And I can't think of it right now, but his real name is Duncan something. I can't think of it right now. And that's the last name of the twins and everything. And I hope to God this is not true. Because you gotta stop and ask yourself, where the heck is he? Since Scream 5, their dad has not been seen. And so I don't want Joel to be a neglectful black father, because that is something that is very true in the black community. When you look at the stats and you look this up online, and I've said this before and I made videos about this before, The number one race of males that abandon their kids are black males and everything. And a lot of black men hate that. So in media, they try to change that and have better black fathers, like in Moesha. But in the age that we are living now in modern television, which is really weird and bizarre because we're very progressive now, in the terms of like television and movies, for some reason, and I made a video about this as well, for some bizarre reason, every time you see a biracial black character in modern television or movies, you see the white mother, but you never see the black father. And it's just like, where the heck are they and stuff? And the twins, we've never seen their father, and we know they're half black. In Scream season 3 of the television series, there was a biracial character. We saw the white father, but not the black mother. And I would hate for Joel to be put in that like category because Joel was such a great character. He was funny and he was smart enough to leave and everything. He did not stick around to try to solve the mystery of who Ghostface was. He did not stick around to get stabbed. He did not stick around to get a phone call. He left, but then he decided to come back at the very end because I guess, like to see if Gail was doing okay and knowing she might need somebody to get the story and everything. So he was a really good character, but he has not been seen since, and he has not been mentioned since. And so, and I know there's a deleted scene between him and Sydney where he said he used to live in Woodsboro, but that's a deleted scene, so it is not canon. Plus, it would make it very unlikely that he would meet Martha in Woodsboro and stuff. Martha was never seen in Scream 1 or 2, especially 2. She didn't pop up until 3, and then later re-popped up in 5. And so that would be kind of odd if she met Joel and it was like, wow, just because he's black and the twins are black and everything. But yeah, this whole theory is starting to look more and more plausible and everything because Guy Busick really loves Easter eggs and nostalgia and stuff. And he loves paying homages to like characters of the past. Alrighty, well, I'll talk to y'all later. Bye.